Let's react to positive reviews of Dragon Age Veilguard. Shall we?
Salutations.
Silence. I'm gonna be nice. Nice. My point is to see how much things overlap. Because that one time that we reacted to IGN and Game Post in their fucking script was just the same. This guy is Mr. Matty Plays.
And it really started for me with Dragon Age Inquisition with what we call the Hinterlands problems.
It's again, like we've heard the Hinterlands problem, like again, which I generally do not believe it's a problem because no one is forcing you to 100% the Hinterlands. You literally just like go there, do the main quests, and you're out. It's not a problem. It's just a way to say, oh, we don't have open world anymore because the Hinterlands was a drag, right, boys?
There are no remnants of the original
fucking finishers. Like, this is Doom. Look at that. Do you guys see that?
Remnants of
Look
the
at that.
original
Look at the fucking monster
approach to this.
He doesn't even ragdoll properly. He just goes,
Surely I did have my nitpicks at times, but I really do feel like we are building up to the BioWare is back moment. I did travel to San Francisco to play Dragon Age the Veilguard. To be transparent, EA did pay for my flight.
That's it, folks. But he's gonna say, but they didn't pay me to like do a review of this. They don't have to. You cannot be honest when money is involved and your reputation is involved. You are a game reviewer. You want to stay in big companies' good graces so you can do videos early like this one and get more engagement and get more views and get more money out of it. So they might not have like paid you to review it, but they basically paid you. This video, it's the payment. When you reach a certain fucking number on YouTube or Twitch and you start getting like big ass companies reaching out to you and say like, hey, play this game. That's when you have to start like to detach yourself from this kind of people. Like, I understand they have their own opinions and this guy might have loved this fucking game. It might be gaudy in his head, but I cannot 100% trust that everything he's saying, it's honest and coming from a place where, you know, he's not being swayed by the need of a good reputation with companies like EA and BioWare. Because all the negative things I've been seeing about this game is from people that didn't get on the list to try the game out, which is really interesting. And no one has anything bad to say about it. That's really interesting.
And the hair in this game, I know it's a small detail.
Actually, a lot of them say the game is nothing like Origins and it disappointed OG fans who got accepted departure. So they're basically rehashing the argument that they've been throwing on Twitter and everywhere else, like, oh, just move on. Origin was like 15 years ago. I don't want this game to just be like Origins. I want an Origins remake, 100%. I want this game to be what it was supposed to be. They are CRPGs and they play like CRPGs, even if they modernize the gameplay as they go. This is just taking that and throwing it at your face and be like, well, it's an action RPG. Of course it's going to be generic. It's an action RPG. No one is asking for Origins 2, brother. We're asking for a Dragon Age game. At least Inquisition and Dragon Age 2, while not being Origins level of CRPG, they were still Dragon Age games. This is not a Dragon Age game, which I think people are not understanding. Obese characters, you can't. Skinny characters, you can't. Have really big boobs, you can't. Have really big asses, you can't. It's always the middle road. They don't take one or the other. It's always the one in the middle.
And then have made 3 more that go in the opposite direction artistically at the very least. To me, it's an evolution of what Inquisition had started, so I don't look at it as too much of a radical.
Which is not great. It's an evolution of something that people complained about. They take complaints that not the majority of the people that played Inquisition had, like, oh, the Hinterlands fucking sucked. And instead of like taking that and making it better, they're like, oh, well, if you didn't like open world games, which we didn't say that. We said like, hey, maybe just in the open world, make the quests actually good, like write better quests. We'll just take the open world away. It's fine. You still have like fetch quests, but we'll just like take away the open world. Don't worry about it. If you are not capable of making it interesting and feel lived in, is it like an open world issue or is it your issue as a writer? All the fucking Venatori look the fucking same. It's crazy. Like that was a complaint that people had in Dragon Age 2. Like, oh, all the Darkspawn are the same asset. Everything looks the same. can we have like some variety? And they said, actually, no, you can't.
Indeed, BioWare did confirm with me that there is no planned DLC or expansions for Dragon Age Veilguard. Take a listen as to why. Is there a plan for DLC or expansion type content for Veilguard at all?
Yeah, it's a question we get a lot, and I understand why. I'm a huge fan of Trespasser as well. In fact, if I were to give any critique, it would only be that Trespasser is so central to the Dragon Age Inquisition story that arguably maybe that should have been part of the base game.
Yeah.
So what they're trying to say is like, oh, we just didn't, we're not gonna make DLCs. We added the important bits in the game. I'm telling you right now, if they actually like get traction with this game, EA is gonna, whether Corinne wants it or not, like I don't think her opinion matters in this case. She is a cog on a wheel. Like BioWare is not like Archetype Entertainment in the sense of like they have 100% creative like freedom to do whatever the fuck they want. If this game ends up making them any sort of money, they're gonna squeeze DLCs. Listen to me when I fucking speak. Can you guys not hear me when I'm speaking like calmly? I've been calm for like 8 minutes. I'm calm. Now I'm not calm anymore. Let's talk to you in a fucking tone that you guys love and understand. If the game makes money, equals DLC. If the game makes no monies, equals no DLC. Selling point has been character creator. That's fucking it. Character creator, characters, oh my god, Steamy, Roman. I want to know how many endings. Not even just like a concrete number, but at least like, oh, there's more than one ending type of deal. Because if this is like, oh, maybe this is just the game, this is it. Like, there's no open ending, there's no room for anything else. Is there gonna be one ending, just like Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition? Is this gonna be another illusion of choice, where the only choices that matter is the romance choices? Is that gonna be it? Or is this gonna be an RPG? Like, I just don't give a fuck about the action part anymore, but the RPG part. Am I gonna be able to sway the story in any fucking way? We know more about the people that made the game than about the game itself. I feel like this entire fucking like PR stunt that they have pulled of like putting like spoilers out there themselves and giving access to, again, a very specific list of people. And by specific, I mean, oh, you guys are like, oh, they're not like loving it. They're being honest with it. And it's just people that are neutral usually, and they're like nice people in the sense of like they have a nice character on YouTube. I want to hear someone like me. I want to hear someone angry. I want to hear someone that doesn't like mince words, whether they like it or whether they don't. And there's, of course, NDAs in place, as one of you said before. Like, there's things they cannot talk about. So how do we know that there's other shit that maybe they can complain about, that it's under an NDA, and therefore they cannot say shit about it until the game is released a month later? What about that?
For example, as someone who did not care too much for Harding in Inquisition, I am ready to die for Harding now. Why is that? Because I made a choice that hurt her badly. Really.
The same fucking, okay, we've already talked about this. Like, oh, like this game is trying to make you feel like an asshole. The fucking option is, I think when the ritual happens, you have to choose help Nev or Neve or whatever, or help Hardin. Either way, they get bruised. It doesn't fucking matter. That's why I don't like the choice. I don't want to be guilt tripped about something I have no control over. It's, again, the illusion of choice. It's either you do this or you do that. There's no actual way of like, can I get hurt? Or can they both get hurt? I feel like people think like, oh, I want this game to be so bad. I want it to be so bad. Like, this is not my favorite franchise of all fucking time. Actually, I want them to prove me wrong. I want this game to be really good. But you know what's gonna happen? It's just gonna be a mediocre fucking game. What I want is, if this is actually a role-playing game, give me fucking options. Can I just like not like take either of them? Like, that's one option that you don't have in this game because you cannot solo the game. And that's already like taking gameplay away from people. There's people that do challenges and they just like do and defeat the game solo. Not that you can do this here. Can they both get hurt if I choose to, to be selfish? Can I be the only one that gets hurt if I choose to be nice to them and just like, tell them to like, hey, don't do that. No, it's either Neve or it's either Hardin, but either way, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, she's gonna be unavailable, but it doesn't mean that you're just gonna be in combat with only Neve. Another character is gonna be available for you to choose at that point. So it doesn't really fucking matter. Like, I'm not 100% a cunt. You know what I mean? I know that I sound like one, that I sometimes may look like one. I want it to be good. I do. I want them to actually please Corinne Bush. Prove me fucking wrong. Do that. But so far, and you're gonna tell me, oh, you haven't seen the game. I have seen plenty of the game. We've all seen plenty of the game. I can see that it's just gonna be more of Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition, where the story is gonna happen to me. I'm not gonna sway the story. The story is gonna sway me. It's gonna take me from point A to B and from B to C. That's what's gonna happen. And again, one thing that I'm very adamant about is knowing the number of fucking endings. If everything I've done until the very point of the ending doesn't change a single fucking thing that matters. I'm not talking about like, oh, well, you've been mean to Solus, so now he's slightly antagonistic towards you. No, I want it to be like, hey, is it gonna matter? Is everything I've done until this point gonna matter? Or is this story just playing by itself and I'm just going with it, going with the current? Like, I understand the modern audience, whatever. Fuck me, I guess, and fuck any of you who are not the modern audience. You can tell that by the way that the words are coming out of my mouth that I'm not hating the game because there's black people in it, there's Asian people in it, ooh, trans people. I don't give a fuck about that. What I give a fuck about is you have established an Inquisition, right? And even the voice actor for the only trans character on screen until that point that we had seen, she said, oh, it was really interesting to play a trans character who hasn't have access to top surgery in their world. And now you take that and you're like, boom. Actually, that never happened. Anders has been performing top surgery since he started becoming like a healer in Kirkwall. That's what he's been doing.
I am a surgeon! I am a surgeon!
I don't care. Explain it to me though. For people that claim to like, oh, I'm not here for the gameplay, I'm here for the story. Well, give me actual like solutions. Like, if you pose a problem that puts a hole in your plot, then mend it. Don't just tell me like, oh, you're just being transphobic. Mend it. Make it make sense. Because if you can just add whatever you want to the video game and be like, well, we can just do that now, then what else can I add? Can I add like a fucking car? So you're just like telling me to just like eat it up and shut up. Because if I talk against it, not even against it, talk about it, and I'm not 100% be like, yay, top surgery scars, then I'm a bigot. No, I'm just being a bigot because I'm trying to understand why you're pulling things out of your fucking ass. It's the problem with like, oh, there's diversity and there's inclusivity, but at the same time, it's like, is there? Or is only inclusivity for certain people? You cannot include everybody. You can't. And by claiming that you can, you're just lying to your audience. If you had gone the Baldur's Gate 3 route, which is the options minus the top surgery scars or whatever, the options for the Baldur's Gate 3 character creator and the ones for Veilguard are basically the same, except one didn't make their entire, PR campaign about the character creator and the other one did. Can I just be disabled? Like, can I miss an arm? Can I miss a leg? Can I do that? Can I be deaf in the game? No. And even if you headcanon that your character is deaf, it doesn't actually reflect in the game, which is what I've been saying about, oh, you can be trans. That's your headcanon. You can headcanon whatever you want. You can headcanon that, your fucking character is the maker himself reincarnated. That doesn't mean that when you play the game and the dialogue in it reflects what you think in your head.
Like, you exchanged verbal jabs with Soul.
If I hear that you exchange verbal jabs, Maddie, I'm trying to be very nice to you. If I keep hearing they exchange fucking verbal jabs with Solas, should we do a fucking bingo?
First and foremost, I want to talk about Balara, who is peppy and inquisitive, but I really love how she was able
Autistic is what he means. The fucking wings.
But yeah, the stakes felt very high
Why does he look like that?
with that assault on Weishaupt, and the
Listen. You know when you can tell that certain characters are made with the character creator in game and others are sculpted by like character designers? You know what I mean? This you can make in game, but then this guy you cannot create in game. But the way that there's like texture to his face, you cannot. Like this doesn't look like it belongs in the same game as this one.
Act 2 is one of consequences.
I like to know what type of consequences. I've been saying that. Is it consequences in the same fucking way? Bruises on Neff or Harden are consequences for these people? Or is it actual consequences? I'm guessing it's gonna be like, you're gonna have to pick like one of the factions. And maybe if you don't like side with a faction or you don't have high enough like reputation, like maybe they die or they lose or something like that. Yeah, war assets like in Mass Effect 3. If you don't do enough quests, like maybe they lose. Like there's gonna be like, oh, there's the big bodies are coming, the archdemons, this is it, we have to face the archdemons. But if you don't help the wardens lose. You've been spoiling the entire fucking game at this point. So can you just actually make like an example of, you know, like not even if it's like actual true that it's going to happen in the game, but a metaphor? Like, oh, let's just say that in this game you could do X. If you do that, Y is going to happen. Don't spoil just like the minute shit that you want out. Like they could shout out so many mouths, mine the first one out of all of them. If they actually said like, hey, there's this many fucking endings. Yes, companions can or cannot like leave you. Just actually like affirm. Don't tell me like, oh, this and this and this and this and this is gonna happen. But it's like, yeah, this could happen. And there's this option that you could like choose or not choose. I want something.
So yeah, I'll just stop there with the storytelling. I think they're heading in a really good direction.
Bingo! Bingo! Bingo!
To a little bit of a Mass Effect 2 moment, potentially, of like, dear God, what's gonna happen to all these characters that I am caring for?
Potentially. So you're giving me a lot of like allegedly. So it's gonna be like, ooh, oh, maybe they're gonna die, and they're not gonna die. People that like to bitch about like, oh, Origins was so long ago. It was 15 years ago. Bro, there's so much you could learn from a game like Origins. Yes, it's outdated. Yes, it's not fucking a masterpiece. It's not God of War. It's not Baldur's Gate 3 level of like gameplay or graphics. But it did what it did really well. So why not take pointers from that? I don't get it. And that's the thing. They keep saying like, oh, we learned from this. We learned from that. What do you learn exactly? From what and what? And what do you change specifically? Like, don't speak to me in like, yes, I love that game, but we learned a lot. We learned hard lessons. What lessons were those? Like, if you want me to trust in you, like as a game designer and a game director, tell me exactly what you went for. Like, oh, I identified this problem, and because of my skills and experience, I did this to fix it. That's what I want to know. Stop fucking showing me the character creator and the hair and the airbrushed face and the fucking disgusting looking Kunari. Actually, stop talking about yourself as a person, as the woman, as Corinne Bush, and start talking about what you can bring to the table as a game director. This is literally what people that were scared of like Baldur's Gate 3 were scared about. Of like, shit, now they have standards. It's not even expectations. It's like, oh, they know that this is possible and has been achieved before. So now they have standards. How dare they have standards?
Say it's back to our roots.
Awesome.
And
what roots? Back to our roots. Which ones? Because they keep talking about Inquisition. Is it Inquisition roots? Is it Dragon Age 2 roots? Is it Origins roots? Whose roots? Is it The Sims 4 roots? Corinne Bush. They could learn so much. Like, this is what I'm like saying. I want games to be good. I think we all want games to be good. I want to like pay 60, 70 bucks and enjoy myself while I play. I don't want to play for like 10 hours and be like, well, they say that in the hour 15, the game gets good. I don't want that. I want to like purchase a product and enjoy said product. I want them to succeed. I wish BioWare would go back to its roots before they sold themselves to the devil. But it's so fucking generic. They keep making the safest choices over and over again. And I know it's because white men that have never touched a fucking video game in their lives are on their shoulders like, you have to add this. You have to add that. Come on. You have to make it work. You know what I would have loved, actually? If the characters looked more like this. This looks kind of like concept art in the way like his face is like hard planes and then like his cheekbones jut out. He has like a prominent nose. He's actually interesting looking instead of just like looking like fucking like knife ear Timothée Chalamet. Like he looks really interesting. And then you have this.
Expect something between Dragon Age Origins and Inquisition here.
How long is Dragon Age? Okay, Origins. Let's say 50 hours. Okay, how long is Inquisition? 51 hours. So what do you mean between?
And if you want 100% everything, that you'd be at it for, her words, not mine, weeks. That being said,
press X to doubt.
Doubt. Be skeptical. Hard to believe. The story you're currently speaking of seems illegitimate. Given the lack of credible evidence you are presenting, I find it highly difficult to place any trust in the more than likely fabricated alibi you have given me.
and it feels like there's a lot of lessons BioWare learned from many of their previous games here, but
What lessons? It's much more confined. It's smaller. It's not like Inquisition. That's it. That's the lesson over and over again that we've been learning here.
in particular, you see Inquisition's lessons learned the most. In all honesty,
Stop it. Stop that. Stop saying buzzwords. Use your words.
the framework for Veilguard felt very Origins to me, where I'm bouncing around all these parts of Ferelden and then going back to my party camp. That's kind of what's happening here.
Don't even fucking get me started with that, brother.
Now let's talk a bit about combat, because this is another thing that I think BioWare didn't show off very well with some of the marketing for the game. So playing is believing, and I actually think this game is insanely fun.
I feel like in their heads, they're trying to like make us believe that they're only competing with themselves. You're not competing with yourselves. You're competing with the likes of Baldur's Gate 3, fucking Horizon New Dawn. Yeah, The Witcher 3. You're competing with the likes of those, like Baldur's Gate 3 and The Witcher 3 specifically. And you are losing really fucking badly. Like there's no room for growth. It's just like blah 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 ultimate blah 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 ultimate. There's no strategy. As much as they say like deep strategy, there's no strategy at all. Why are we complaining about this game being an action RPG but not Dragon's Dogma and The Witcher 3? Maybe because they did it in a way that was appealing for the like player.
All right, everyone, listen up! Gohan's trick is over! Now it's time for the main event of Bulma's birthday, the Bingo Tournament! Bingo! Bingo! Bingo!
Okay, he's been drinking more than Gohan.
Fight time bingo! Ha! This is a fun place to be, oh yeah! The food is tasty too, yum! Let's go play, oh, let's be friends, oh! Fun time bingo! It's time to play some bingo! Ole!
Well, let's say we make another orbit around Planet Buffet Table.
Very well.